So the movie finally came out. The Super Mario Brothers movie. The only adaptation of Super Mario Brothers movie. There have definitely not been other adaptations of the Super Mario Brothers franchise in film form before. Anyways, the movie came out, and it's somehow been the most divisive, most controversial movie to come out, like, in a long time. People are so divided about this movie, and I can't figure out why. It's a movie about a fucking red plumber. It's a movie about a red plumber who's saving his brother from a fucking giant turtle. I don't know why people are complaining so much about this movie, but you know, that's the gist of it. That's everything, but we'll get to that in a bit. How was the Mario movie, first of all? Because if you look at some people will tell you it's great, and other people will tell you it's a bunch of SJW garbage. So, how was it? What was the Mario movie?
I hit the Yoshi on him, and Super Mario that hoe. Hit the Yoshi on him, and Super Mario that.
So, the Super Mario Brothers movie was directed by Aaron Michael Jelenic and written by Matthew Fogel. The movie stars Chris Pratt, Seth Rogen, Charlie Day, Anna Taylor-Joy, and the infamous and lovable Jack Black, who I love very much, and he is my all-time hero. I love Jack Black. Jack Black, if you're watching this, I love you. Please sign me. Please do a collab with me. I love you. Anyways, so the Mario movie is, I think a lot of people forget, a kid's movie. At the end of the day, in the heart of it all, it's a kid's movie. It's an adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is a franchise for kids. I think a lot of people are taking this movie way too seriously and not taking it for what it is. You know, a silly little movie done by the director of the fucking Minions. The Minions. Yeah. So, you know, I went into this movie not expecting that much, but the movie was really well for what it is. It's a great adaptation of the games, which is rare to see nowadays because you have a bunch of video game movies that want to shove a bunch of real-life characters or real-life famous actors, like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, you know, Rampage. You have these characters who were never part of the original game who are just showing up, and now they're the main leads. And then the video game characters take a back seat to the main leads. So, with the Mario movie, it's refreshing to finally see a movie that is just the core elements of the game and what made the game so popular. And it does it very well. It adapts the story and the main premise of Mario very well. You know, Mario is a plumber who lives in Brooklyn. You know, him and his brother Luigi are scraping by. They get sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, Luigi gets kidnapped, and so Mario, along with Toad and Peach, have to go rescue Luigi. That is a really simple plot that they do very well, and it doesn't feel dragged out. In fact, I'd say the movie feels a little bit too short, because some of the aspects of the movie do get a little bit underplayed, like the rivalry between Donkey Kong and Mario, or how Peach just immediately takes a liking to Mario. You know, some of these elements I feel like could have been fleshed out more, but it doesn't really detract from the overall movie. It's a funny, silly little movie. It doesn't have pop culture references. It doesn't have fart jokes or anything like that. The humor and the comedy is pretty subtle for what it is, and I feel like if everyone could just take a step back and see like, oh, this is just a kid's movie, it doesn't have any deep political undertones or anything like that, they would probably enjoy it more. Because I see a lot of the criticism is that the Super Mario Brothers movie is very bland and lacking. Peach is an SJW wannabe insert character. The Super Mario Brothers movie doesn't have any deep philosophical undertone. It's a kid's movie. I don't understand why critics are taking it so seriously. It's a movie made for children. It's not gonna be serious. I understand that maybe movies like Puss in Boots had that deep, thought-provoking subtlety in it, but you shouldn't expect that from the Super Mario Brothers movie. The most this movie does is it makes you understand that chasing your dreams and being more successful is okay, in the sense that Mario feels like he's down in the dumps and that he's not loved or cared by anybody, really. Which is, pretty good, because some characters who have never had character development do have character development, like Donkey Kong or Mario or even Peach. These characters who are one-dimensional, like Luigi, they overcome their fears to be more fleshed out, which is really good. For example, let's take Peach. Peach in this movie, which she has been criticized for being the SJW heroine, oh, she's the badass woman. There has been a lot of different interpretations of Peach that have shown her being capable and being able to save herself if she really wanted to. You go look at Super Princess Peach, Smash Brothers, any of the Olympic games, any of the third-party sports games. She is very athletic and very capable on her own. But the way that Peach is also portrayed in the movie, you can also tell she cares about her people and that she could be a damsel in distress. It's not just a complete 180 turnaround. Both of her character traits are there, and they're both portrayed well. Donkey Kong being arrogant because he's huge and he's so tough that, when he's finally beaten by Mario, he almost can't accept the loss. That is really well, because to this day, Donkey Kong doesn't have much character development. Mario, as a character, doesn't have much character development. Or Luigi, the character who has the most character development in the Mario franchise, is probably Bowser. And Bowser in this movie is portrayed amazingly, thanks to Jack Black, but he's portrayed amazingly. He's seen as this love-struck doofus, but he's also seen as a threat. He's a menace. But because he's in love with Peach, his sensitive side also shows. And that's great. That's great handling of these characters, that they're able to flesh them out, and they're able to give them a new perspective, but they're also retain their roots. They're not a complete 180 bastardization of the original characters. These are the characters, but in a new format. And I think that all the actors do a really good job of actually portraying it. When we first saw that the actors list was going to be Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Chris Pratt, we all made fun of that.
Chris Pratt is Mario? Yo! What?
Of course, is Mario,
What?
who will be played by Chris Pratt.
What do you mean? I'll do it.
So cool.
What?
I just fucking shit myself! No!
What?
Mario will be talking a lot.
What are you talking about?
Please look forward to Mario as performed.
What are you talking about? What?
The
fuck?
Mario, who will be played by Chris Pratt.
What?
He's so cool. Mario will be talking a lot in the movie.
He's
Please
so
look forward
cool.
to Mario as performed by the very talented
He's so
Chris
cool.
No!
is
Are
Mario,
you fucking
who
kidding
will be
me?
played by
No! God
He's so
fucking...
cool. Will be
Oh
talking
my
a lot
god.
in the movie.
Charles Martinet
Please
is
look forward to
right
Mario as
there!
performed
Holy
by the very
shit!
talented
Oh,
is Mario,
God!
who will be played by Chris Pratt.
Oh,
He's so
what the
cool.
But in hindsight, going back to it, that is a really good choice, And I'll be honest, I was one of the people who at first thought, what the fuck is Chris Pratt doing playing Mario? But after the movie, I can confidently say it was a good choice. Jack Black, amazing. Seth Rogen, surprisingly well. Anna Taylor-Joy, amazing Peach. Charlie Day, amazing Luigi. These are all the characters that I know and love. And even Charles Martinet, who's the original voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, he makes a cameo in the movie. And I think he plays more than one character. I think he plays Mario's dad. And he does the original Mario voice at the start of the movie. The movie is also filled with Easter eggs and references to other classic Nintendo games. So, in the end of the day, I think that this movie, for what it is, it was a really successful movie. It did a good job of interpreting the characters, and it did a good job of giving the audience what they expected or what they wanted. And you can really tell this movie is about to break $1 billion. And it honestly deserves it. Because it's such a great movie. It really is. But also, the movie has some controversy, which we get to talk on in the next part.
The sands of time are moving on, paisano. And you are being left behind.
So the movie was pretty weird in that it's always been a controversial movie because of just people finding something to complain about. At first, when the movie was announced, a bunch of people didn't like the casting, right? Specifically Chris Pratt, which I guess I can understand because I was in that boat. I just didn't think it made sense. But, you know, now a bunch of people are mad about the movie because of Peach's characterization. There's a drama between Luigi's homosexuality? I don't know why that's a thing. It has to do with something with like Cuba. I'm not sure. Or the Colombian ministry, I think it is.
What the
I'm not sure. But another main controversy that the movie is facing is that some people think that the movie was lacking and that it didn't do enough for them, which I can understand if you didn't like a movie, right? I'm not saying that you have to like this movie. No, I completely understand if you didn't. But I guess some people just had way too high expectations for it. It's the Super Mario Brothers movie. You weren't getting this high-end, like, golden movie of the struggles of Italian immigrants. No, you were getting a movie about a funny little plumber. You know, I think that most of the controversy is just people not liking the movie because of what it is and what it wasn't, if that makes any sense. Some people are arguing that they didn't like how it was way too adapted. They would like it more in a format like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I completely disagree with. I wish the Sonic the Hedgehog movie would have been more like the Mario movie, even if I like Sonic the Hedgehog. But most of these controversies are from critics, really. Critics who didn't like the movie. They thought the movie was lacking. They thought that the movie didn't do enough for them. And I get it, okay? You're a critic, right? Your whole thing is just judging the movie and pointing out flaws. But I think we live in a world where we really don't need critics anymore. I mean, if you look at the critic score versus the audience score, it's pretty much just night and day. You know, it's a complete difference between what the critics like and what the audience likes. Some of the critic ratings are 1.1 out of 5, you know, a 2-star out of 5. A lot of critics didn't like the movie, but the audience loved it. And I think that's the main controversy is why do critics hate the movie when the audience loves it? There's a bunch of articles talking about how these critics just completely review bombed the movie when the audience straight up just loved them, you know? So should we trust critics in their opinions or should we trust the audience in their opinions? And I think that's the main device of the Mario movie is why do people hate it so much? Are you taking it too seriously or do you have valid criticism? Because some people do have valid criticism, like the movie being too short or some tones being underdeveloped. But some of them are just you wanting to make stuff because either a paycheck or because you just want to get likes or reviews or something like that, you know? And that's the main criticism and main point. And to that, I just say, stop taking the movie so seriously. It's a Super Mario Brothers movie. I get it. It's not, obviously, there have been a lot of child's media that has subverted expectations, like, again, Puss in Boots. Great movie, I could talk about it all day, but that movie subverted expectations in a huge way. So I understand the idea of, oh, the Mario movie can do the same, but the Mario movie is a completely different animal to Puss in Boots. And I think that that's what critics need to understand, is that a lot of movies are different. Some movies don't serve a purpose other than to entertain. Some movies do. Some movies want to make you think. Some movies are thought-provoking. They're critiques on society. Some movies just exist to laugh or to put in the background or to just enjoy with a friend or with family. And that's the point of the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's an adaptation of a game. It's an adaptation of a video game. That's it. There's nothing more to it. So I think if we just take a step back and take it at face value or for what it is, we can probably come to an agreement that this is a good movie. It's a good movie that shouldn't be taken seriously, and there's no point in arguing over a controversy when this movie is gonna hit almost $1 billion. And they already said that they're gonna make sequels. Shigeru Miyamoto was like, yeah, definitely, we're probably gonna make some sequels or other Nintendo movies. So even if the criticism is valid, it doesn't matter anymore. Because this movie beat Frozen 2. It's like on its pace to be the highest grossing animated movie of all time. So at this point, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. So let's just see where it goes. And I'm pretty sure this is really good for video game adaptations, because what the Mario movie did was it laid the groundwork for good video game adaptations. You might not see any more like Sonic style movies where it's just video game character put into the real world. We probably won't see that anymore. We'll probably see video game character in their own world with their own struggles adapted from the video game, which is something that I really want to see, because I wonder what could be all these movies, like the Zelda movie or the Metroid movie, you know, all these movies that could exist that would be amazing if they do it right. Apart from Fire Emblem, don't make a Fire Emblem movie, please don't. That'll be dog shit.
Thank you, Super Mario Bros. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is the cum from your fat fucking cock.
So at the end of the day, I think that the Mario movie was a good movie. It did what it needed to. It didn't overstep its boundaries, and it made a shit ton of money. And I think that that's all it needed to do. The fact that it's opening up a gateway to more movies is amazing, you know? I just hope that, to be honest, every movie, it's in its own universe. I don't want a Smash Brothers movie or a huge crossover, because there's no point. You're just gonna make it convoluted like the MCU, and you're gonna have to try to shove these characters in who shouldn't belong with each other. Like, I don't know how you're gonna write the fact that Sonic, Mario, Link, and Mega Man from their own respective universes could be in their own story. And if you were to make a Smash Bros. Movie, what the fuck would be the plot? You know, what would be the idea? But, I mean, obviously, if it makes money, it makes money. And if it makes money, they're probably gonna do it anyways, so why does it matter? But anyways, Mario movie was good. Critics need to stop taking it so seriously. Can't wait for the next one. If you need Wario, you can contact me right here at this email, Illumination Studios. If you need Wario, please call me. Please, I swear to God, call me. Please.